Hickok 45 here. Yes, welcome to the Hickok 45 Talks channel. Yeah, while I'm healing my leg, I thought I'd chat with you about a couple things. So, did you win the Powerball? Yeah. I don't follow things like that very closely. I've never really played the lottery. I've bought probably 2 or 3 lottery tickets in my life. And they were like those Powerball things just for kind of a lark or fun. And everybody's buying them. It's up to $1 billion or something. Okay. But I just don't do those. I mean, I don't think against it. I just don't do it. The odds are not that good. Let me put it that way. I know a little math, just enough to know I ain't probably going to win $1 billion. But anyway, I've been seeing, by the time you see this, I don't know if someone's won it or part of it or something probably, but I think as I'm speaking with you, there's still like $1.8 billion in the Powerball lottery. Now, I don't know I guess you can play that in about any state, right? I don't know how that works. But 1.8 billion, and I saw some news people talking about it, and what would you do with it and everything. It always makes for interesting conjecture. What would you do, fantasy or whatever, if you won the lottery? Used to be we'd talk about that. Yeah, if you won $1 million or something, but 1.8 billion. That would take some thinking. You might have to turn it down if you want it because you just wouldn't be able to think of anything to do with it. Think that would be your problem? Not mine. Yeah, I was thinking about it. What would I do with that if I were to win 1.8 billion? Well, that puts you in a high tax bracket, of course, so you don't really have 1.8 billion. If you live in a tax state, you figure you might have half of it. Okay, but let's say you have, for conversation's sake, let's take it. You have almost $1 billion. Let's say you'd have less than that after taxes. You might probably end up having like the 800 million, which is nothing, right? Let's say you got roughly $1 billion. What are you going to do with it after taxes? Well, what would you do with it? What would you do? 'Cause this isn't one of those deals where, well, yeah, man, I'll buy a new car and a house. Yeah, I wouldn't worry. I'd quit my job. Well, no kidding. You could do that with 10 million or 5 million or something, whatever, comfortably. But with $1 billion, that's 1,000 million. So you could do a lot of stuff there, couldn't you? You could get yourself into big trouble, and everybody would come knock on your door, right? Well, I was thinking what I would do with it. The first thing I would do is kind of the same thing I always say or have for most of my life with that kind of thing. I would buy some land, and with $1 billion, I could go ahead and get more than 100 or 200 acres. I'd find 1,000 acres, some maybe more, but about 1,000 acres would be enough. Somewhere in I don't know about it would be a desolate area. If you got 1,000 acres, it wouldn't matter what's around you, right? But somewhere in the south, probably 1,000 acres with decent weather, nice rolling land, and things you could do about anything you wanted on it, right? And since I have $1 billion, I'd build an airstrip on it. I don't fly, but why not? 1,000 acres, I might buy a helicopter or something. You get out of there. People might want to come in that can fly. I don't know, but anyway, why not it would be a mere pittance if you have $1 billion, right? So I'd buy about 1,000 acres, and that would take yeah, because for 100 acres you're talking maybe a couple of million. So yeah, you'd use some of it, not much, but so you're still not really cutting into it much at all. 1,000 acres and an airstrip. And then on the 1,000 acres, nice home, nothing exotic really. Swimming pool maybe if you want it. If I'd want that or not. Nice barns, any kind of storage area needed, all that. Okay. Nice comfortable place to live. Pond or lake here and there, whatever you might need. all the machinery you'd want, tractors and four-wheelers, things like that. So you could do about whatever you needed to do on that 1,000 acres. Maybe have another small house somewhere on it, reasonable house with a someone to kind of manages the property. Could pay them a nice house and everything. They manage the property, act as security perhaps, and that sort of thing. Because if yeah, you might need some security, you might need another person. But again, it's $1 billion, so you're not eating up all your money there. Yeah, I mean, you haven't even eaten up a quarter of it, right? And then just kind of do what you want. Build fences where you think you need them, trails, uh, and just carve out the ideal house, maybe a beautiful log home, really nice barns, and all the dogs, cats you want, and motorcycle. There you go, a trike, Harley trike. And you won the lottery. You just carve out your kind of your ideal uh, life in terms of where you live and conveniences, that sort of thing. And you might have a helicopter, or some quick way to get to town or whatever. Have groceries brought to you, whatever you want to do. So I think that would be that'd be one thing I might look at doing. Yeah. Um, and then I don't know how much is left. 600-700 million. I don't know. Then I would donate some to worthy causes. Maybe of course, invest it, put it in good index funds, and spread out amongst 3 or 4 different funds, some hedges against inflation, all that kind of thing, uh, and make sure I'm not going to lose the value of it, and then as it continues to grow each year, a lot of money, and living off of it, you wouldn't be able to suspend it unless you got some other giant building project you're looking at or something, build a skyscraper. And so just regularly set up some worthy charities that you're aware of, and donate a lot of it as you're moving along, to help people that really need the help, where it's not all going to administration, that sort of thing. You probably need a lawyer, of course, obviously, retained to keep people from bugging you, and they can handle all the philanthropy, side of it. So I don't know. That's just some of my thoughts. There's probably some things I'm not thinking about. Um, you got that amount of property. You could have a lot of cool vehicles that you just enjoy driving around the property, buy an old World War II Jeep or whatever, newer cars and whatever you wanted to do. So those would be some things I would do. And in addition to continue doing the things I normally do, have some good books to read, good hikes, trails to hike on, and good mountain biking trails and all that sort of thing. So what would you do with almost 2 billion after taxes, around $1 billion? Okay, tell us about it. What kinds of dumb things would you do? Okay, now don't try to make us all feel bad and say, well, I would live in a shack somewhere and I would donate it all to the homeless.